These teams at the top are actually combining the two together and making it work. I mean, that's the overall story of this. When we look towards Northern Lights, first, a second, a third, a first, multiple kills to go alongside them. Navi's run yesterday, 3 wins in a day, is pretty sterling, to be honest with you, especially when they're racking all those wins up with 15, 8, and 13 kills. Combine them all together, like, there's no wonder they've shot up into second place. It's still pretty tough at the top when you look towards, you know, 5th place, Tornado, TSM, Omicron, Navi, Northern Lights. They're only separated by, what, 21 points, all of them? So there's a hell of a lot still to play for. And I think for most of those, has to be said, it's, yes, you've got the prize at the end of this one. You have the 25 grand and you have the huns all the way around, kind of like a crater. So the circle acts as water and it flows downhill. And generally, they all lead to kind of the sinkhole, which is where all these teams at the moment are condensing towards. Gaxi, oh, the second I say your name, do you get dinked? And I don't think anyone's even in close to being in a position to get a revive on him. Really rough.
Yes, it is. It's oh, and
excuse
and
me, 25 points.
God damn, 22 energy, just rubbing it in.
Area, they just don't know perfectly where. The issue is that everyone else will know this, so you'll have a lot crashing towards them, a lot vying for these vital positions. And Tropic met with Liquid at the doorstep. Unfortunately, one player is not going to be able to hold it. Reggie I didn't see in the distance, but he wasn't there to provide support in time. Hawkey dead, done. Liquid, they can take this compound. It's a decent one to hold as well.
I mean, any 2-2 at this point. Yeah, that wasn't even a real 2-2. That was a 2-1-1 kind of. Well scouted by Liquid to see that was available.
Field to them, red line, raise your reg, good position. Omicron, kind of home territory coming out of Kumasera. Your harder battles, Lauren, may be fought actually here, to be fair. Funnily enough, as the camera does go on it, because while this is going on, FaZe will fixate on Better Luck next time, try and maybe even take this compound from them because it makes it harder. Being in there, it traps FaZe back a little bit. It would be hard to push. You would need a marksman to really knock somebody out unless Gustav just says, you know what, let's have it. Oh, they're having a crack at this. Because if they don't take them out, Lauren, let's be real, it makes life harder rotating later game.
Oh, and Gustav just makes such light work of Fate. Now, while all this happened, Fate did find Fuzzface, but Kissick is quickly getting there. Going to try and maybe punish that one-knock player. They've got to be on alert. Definitely been noted. Kissick's been spotted. Good dink, though. That puts 80 in a little bit of a less powerful position, but well controlled in the end. They could probably get Fuzzface back on their feet. TSM were south of them, but it looks like they've rotated further away. I thought maybe if TSM got interested, that could be a big third party. That could slow down.
But the smokes are already down.
Yeah, we gotta keep a watchful eye towards the Omicron Liquid situation. We did see, I think it was Ibby pushing out a little further ahead from the others. TSM and Razor Edge starting to get pretty flow there. And Jeems being flushed. Maybe it was Jeems rather than Ibby. Excuse me. Yes, it was. I read that wrong on the map there. So, yeah, Liquid might be trying to get towards Omicron or playing the foot of the hill from that. This is on the outskirts. Na'Vi against Tornado Energy. TSM holding their own for now. I'm not sure how many players they just lost out on. They've definitely suffered some casualties up against Razor Edge. Iroh, Miraku, and Vex are still alive. I don't know if they've lost out on their fourth. They might have done. I don't see them around, so that could be the case here. Razor Edge in a tricky spot to dig out. They've managed to get this ditch here for TSM. The next piece they'd like would be that compound, but it's a little tricky. It's got some good covering ground around it, so that could be a problem.
We'll see if Ira's smokes are either to distract or to agitate the vehicle. I don't know. It's some players you'll see them put smokes down and then it will force someone like Razor Edge to commit their utility. They'll start throwing the grenade and that we're here. Do that. They have to go back. And I'm okay with that. Regroup with your team. You're going to have a lot of stuff going on in the distance. And as we say that, we do have something going on in the distance. This is Red Zone, I believe. One of the players just falling while Atomical, Mac and Dark and Co. They carry on and go towards the north. Keep an eye on the kill feed because they'll slowly be coming into Entropic. As I say that, it's on your screen. This observing is fantastic, so thank you very much. They do have a hill, but the vehicle noise will have given up the game, so your IQ will know their position.
Where does NLT go here, Rich?
Well, because I think they're going to have to crash this one. The two will be sent off, Lauren, but there is two teams here. This is something that's backbuilding. Ends are slowly but surely working the way into this one. You can see it on the map.
this is our current lobby leader, right? This is them with very few options. They're having to run between two pretty deadly teams. Tornado Energy. Oh, that looks like a spin. That looks like it could be done. Yep, Perfectus gets caught. A little unfortunate. Spyro's still alive, but in the blue. And I don't know if he has a vehicle to come forward with. But while this happened, Omicron...
Good to read it. Good to see what's going on behind. Keep your head on a swivel. It now pays off because they can stay alive. Or at least he can. Shots will be returned from either side. Forces Vascar, especially with a headshot. It puts him out of the battle orbit for now. Go away and heal. Or at least give ENCE a bit more time to get inside this. They are still outside of the white. Two of them are actually in. Rustam, Mar, and Tixu. They could regroup and maybe take that position, but for them it's all about maybe removing Omicron from this. So they have this quarter of the circle at least free to work with.
Na'Vi trying to get themselves into the new circle. They did lose Senya on transition, I think. He just got knocked by the car, if anything. But that's a problem because now Tornado Energy want in on this. Melman's the second nade can do it. Oh, it's a molly rather than nade. Kemba's quelled the initial threat. Good hold from Kemba. Nice defensive play. If Besto gets a heal off, maybe they could get Senya back up. They need Tab to provide some firing. Cover coming in. They need to get some pressure building. Alia definitely sees where he is, and Tab is here to provide some help. But look on the distance, look to the top right. Jempty, they're getting close by. Omicron smell blood in the water, and like sharks, they get closer and closer. This is a little bit scary for these boys on the other teams, because they're in, but barely.
Circle comes in, and Liquid's compound now becomes extremely solid. It's not quite center, but it's certainly the most central compound we have currently on the map. Ira did push up with TSM towards Raise Your Edge. I think there may have been a little bit of a third party coming from Elgig, a few shots here and there. It comes down to Shiv and Ira, last two men standing, I believe, for either team. Tundo goes down. That's going to be Adepts across the field. They're just working their way out of the eastern embankment, really open territory towards Tempest. It could be a field day for them unless Elgig get involved. Atomical goes down at range from Mexi. Again, that's provided by the vision that they have up on the hill compound, which basically is just... yeah, it's going to be really hard to crash from below. They only have to worry about teams in the south and the west.
Yeah, but ENCE's push was huge then. They just managed to find T-Bone. That could be a step back in for them. They need to kind of control at least one of these two sides. The north is hard to get any sort of eyesight on because they expose themselves to Liquid. So clearing in the south is a really good idea, and K-Mine being picked too. He didn't want that. That's definitely going to put Liquid on notice because K-Mine was out on a limb, and Liquid are down to 3. So you can't take these needless fights. You know, you've got to be careful on these peaks.
Out and come towards them, farm some points as they do. Now, V, while you did mention that they thrive in these scenarios where they're up against the blue, this circle is quite cruel, and there is 2 teams that they need to focus on. They excel when there's only 1. Behind them's clear. There's nothing else they really have to look towards. There is Redline that'll still be ringing in their ears. I think they're just out of line of sight, so maybe they don't have to worry too much of it, but still. They will understand that ENCE and Omicron are 2 different rosters here, and they are aiming towards 2 different sets of players. Pick your poison and get the right time to strike. Besto's knock may be the go sign. Smokes are down, put them against the wall. It gives them somewhere to run. It also occludes them from vision. More smokes cover the gap. I like this wall. This is a really good entry point. They may run the walls and just kind of funnel them into scenarios where it's 1 versus 1. That's how you kind of get this. If you can split Omicron at the wayside and take them 1 by 1, break up the team, break up the defensive shield, then you're in here and you can keep on going, then move on to ENCE. That'll be the next objective.
The theory's nice, Rich, but then you can see the big blue problem in the distance. You run this way, you're completely open to Liquid. It's why that ENCE and Omicron couldn't run this route before. And T-Bone's just going to prone here and wait for this cross. It might be a one and done, it might be even more than that. But Besto, no, he can't. But Vasquez going to pick up the mantle, and that's going to be surely more than enough. He's got a nice angle. Blue's here now. He's going to get knocked any second. ENCE try and make the run. Does anyone make it out of this side? So far, it looks like the answer's no. And the bigger part becomes, can Liquid steal all these points on the floor? Na'Vi goes down. ENCE are down to, I think, 2 there. Squeaky's still alive, but they can't get forward. They have to try and fight back towards Liquid while they're in the blue. And there it is. Liquid gonna just mop up everybody trying to leave that western side. Now, the south has not been resolved yet. It can still house teams, but not this many. There's going to be that fight between FaZe and Redline. You can see it now. Gustav there, keeping pressure towards Marv and towards QBE. It looks like Fuzzface is going on the deeper flank. His position is only going to be valuable for so long, and that's a problem. Ivus, a way deeper angle. The 2-2 split for Redline has worked out well. They had 2 of their players already on the high ground and trying to alleviate the pressure from Marv and QBE, and it's worked out incredibly well. For FaZe, a little short-sighted there. Normally, they're very well aware of those positions and what they have to be, keeping eyes on. This time, they got outplayed.
I'm also seeing the rest of Redline are actually taking advantage of this and moving up. They're getting position on them. While their teammates have been essentially given up to the Ghost, they've come over the hillside. There is level 3 gear in play here. I'm seeing that Groza front and center. Should it get involved, it's going to be deadly. Through the smoke we go. Initial one's open. Uber, can he find a second? The nades are down. They know the location of this player because they saw 2. Raise Your Edge also falls in a different fight completely. ELG, they get another point. They took out TSM earlier on. Uber has been knocked, but Gustav should be good to get the res here. Or should he, in the distance, fire? It's quite a centralized one, but it is slower. A little thing to note as well, which you may not have seen off screen. Red Zone got close to Liquid. I think they lost track of them and didn't realize their position fully. Shots are going towards Mac and Dak, but look at Momir. Could he be the one that maybe sneaks a player or two from Team Liquid?
Maybe. I mean, the thing is, if Ibby makes it across, his vision's going to be slap bang on that player. We'll see what happens with that. This is still pressure coming in towards the south side. Okay, FaZe going to try and hinder their progress. Now, K-Mine might be the sacrifice for Liquid. You can see Momi there in the little bottom right. And the nade might actually finish off what was just started with the M4. Good nade. Going to force him away, but doesn't do the damage they wanted. Tomo, in the meantime, does find Norkis, as Ghoster and Vac have found a new avenue of approach. But rather than staying quiet, they've tried to take shots towards FaZe.
Gustav sticks the heel and only just barely gets it off. I'll be able to sneak something in or just provide a third-party scenario. Look at this, Momi's actually fixated so hard on the player up on the roof. K-Mind and Ibby, they work their way around. Time to jump off, but he has support. Doesn't even have to go for this one. Adepts, that's a third party they did not anticipate happening. Momi's still up and the nade's coming out. Maybe able to be a bit more of a nuisance here and just keep Liquid straggling. It's slowing them down. It's slow
from Tomel, but you see ELG being hyper aware of who's up that hillside. Now, while all this happens, Double just found Ibby, so Entropic definitely kept tabs on where Liquid were going, and Liquid tried to disconnect from that initial fight they were holding in the northwest, and sadly they got caught anyway. So K-Mine may be central, but he's all alone. 6 teams remain, 15 players. Reggie and the EIQ boys pinning back Momi. Don't think they're going to escape from this. They could try and outlive a couple of other teams, but I don't think it really matters unless Adepts really get caught in a bad spot. Now, actually, maybe saying that they just have. Novik did find Furek, so EIQ have turned their attention to the back lines, and maybe Red Zone can outlive one. Nice nade from Clear. Been singing this man's praises, it feels like, on a quite consistent basis. Tundo's still alive, but there goes Momi. Couldn't outlive Adepts in the end, as soon as he's already in the circle as well. So even if Tundo does go down, they do have a support piece in play. That's another good pickup for EIQ. They're starting to come into their own here.
But with the nerd earlier on, the information will have been given away that there's still another player lingering from Adepts. Maybe they just leave them and disconnect, which I think is quite sparse and very limited cover. You're giving away your position. K-Mine finally down. Liquid 5th position. Pixel, really nice place up on this garage. Kind of safe.
I mean, would you rather try and fight ELG? Because you can't just sit in the middle here. I mean, they're barely in as they are. They're going to be right on the edge of that blue. Reggie Beardo is having a look around. He might find Sunzi if he goes up on high enough ground. Yes, he does. That's a nice little snake found in the grass, but that's success for Wookie Bookie. So Entropic look a little bit weaker than before, but that's certainly an equalizer. You hear the big bassy shots coming out. You suddenly put on red alert. And it's Tempest who are looking a little worse for wear. They've managed to find Ghost, they managed to find Double, but this is 2 fights on 2 fronts. So they don't want to split themselves too thin. Clib gets flushed, but Wookie Bookie is doing the damage right back to him. Reggie now down into a tough predicament. ELG do have Vac alive, might be able to get the res on Ghost Star, but it's Tempest with all the players still kind of working towards the right cause. Yes, they lost out on 1, but Tomo holding the flank. He's in a bit of a predicament though. Maybe trying to bait on the timing of that on so he can maybe make the play off the back of it. He needs his support here. He needs the other players to clear this one player out of position. And Reggie is doing everything he can, but while this continues, Wookie Bookie and Pixel are trying to look towards center circle. Tomil, nice turn on the shot. Reggie with the repeat. 8 times, doesn't need it, just right to the chest. delivers that signed and sealed. Now we have ELG. This could be a huge moment for them. A team that definitely needs it. Pixel now try and hold on to it for Tempest. They had the circle at the start. They've cruised through. There's still 3 teams, keep in mind. But Reggie's back is to the blue. ELG with the 2 players. The Molotovs go down. And there's the first spot. Reggie going to get the flush towards Wookie Bookie. That's points. Points being prizes. He's now in the open. He's now gone down. ELG might be on the first of a big victory for them. They really do desperately need it. Oh no, Pixel. Are you going to dash their hopes and dreams? They've gone this far. Surely. He's got 20 bullets. What is with Tempest and having no ammo in these final fights? I mean, it's like Tom all over again. But Vac against Pixel. For all the marbles, Pixel going for the readjustment. Fakes it out. Nice. That's a claim on points. 18 bullets now. Clicking down. The peak again. Pixel on the right. Vac on the left. Pixel. Peeking the ridgeline. Vac's getting a little bit more aggressive. He's looking for this a little bit more. Pixel using the low ground. Getting up close to the tree. Trying to use this for leverage. You can look at the gear. Vac, pretty trashed up vest here. Only level 1. Pixel out gearing it. That's a nice peek from Vac. This is so tense. Every peek matters, and it will be Pixel to deny